All right, I know I'm going to throw out a lot of information at once, but the beauty of video is if you need a specific detail, you can pause the video. So what I'm going to start with here, and I made a little short about this, is these cups here. Back in the day, well, I can't even say back in the day because they still do it. So when you buy these guns, they come with these cups, and you know, if you want you're doing a bigger job, you can buy a bigger cup, which I thought I had one around here to show you, but I can't find it. I don't use them that much. As soon as I open these, I pretty much throw these away. I don't need them. This is all Harbor Freight stuff. You get the adapter here. 3M makes one called PPS, which their version is very similar. And all it is, when you buy these, you want to get the kits, the starter kits. The starter kits come with your cup itself. This is one I haven't used yet. The starter kit comes with the cup itself, which is this thing. You want to get the ring, and this part you don't throw away. You reuse this. And then they come with the liners and the lids. And the lid is what, it comes with a little cap. This is what connects to the gun. You have to keep in mind, if you're spraying something with like heavy pearl or some flake, there's a screen in here. You don't even need to strain your paint. This does it for you. If you're spraying something with you know, heavy particles in it, cut the screen out of here and you know, strain it the way you would normally strain it with a heavier, you know, more open filter. But this is the way I go. You can get like the 3M, the PPS system. It's a lot more expensive. You can get bigger sizes. From what I've seen so far, Harbor Freight only sells this one like pint size or quart size. It's not quart size. I don't know what size this is. But that's the only bad thing. And if you want to spray more, get a couple of them. I have one here from a job I did, I don't know when. But you can see I forgot to clean it. I don't know why I forgot to clean it. But this is it. This whole thing gets thrown away. This is ready to go again right now. I can put a new liner in here and we're ready to go. So that's the beauty of this. There's no cleaning. What I do is I keep one of these around with some thinner in it. When I'm done with the gun, I loosen my tip, I'll percolate it, you know. You do want to, you can spray upside down with these too. I forgot to mention that. You can spray upside down. So I'll go upside down with them and I'll suck the bag in. And then when you percolate, it blows it back so it'll fill the bag back up. This is like the only thing you got to remember. But this is the route that I go. I always get the cheap gun. I like the one where the fan adjustment's on the side. I hate the one with the fan adjustment up here. That's just my preference. It's like an Iwata style or whatever. But always get the little filter here. I like these adjustments. I never use these. I open these up all the way and I adjust it here so I can see. Because, you know, going by here, you don't know how much pressure you got. This way you can get a rough idea, a little better idea of how much pressure you have. So that's it for the gun and, you know, what I'm putting it in. Pick this stuff up. It's worth it. So I'm going to set this aside. We'll move on to the paint. All right, so I'm going to cover a little bit about what I have here, and you know, the whole purpose of my channel, Your Average Russ, is you know, your average guy. You want to paint your car, but you don't know what in the world you're looking at, don't know what all this stuff is, and what's the right way of going about it. Now, can you go to the auto parts store and just get spray cans? Yeah, why not? You know, but this is a little more of that professional look, you know what I mean? That you can spray it out of the gun, you get a wider fan, you know, spray cans always leave those stripes, you know, where when you spray it out of a gun, you can get a more even, and that comes down to skill. You're not going to buy one of those guns and spray professionally right off the bat. I can take one of them crappy $14 guns and do a pretty good paint job, and, you know, it'll pass as, you know, I bought it from a paint shop, you know what I mean? So anyway, what we got going on here, so you have like, near me, I have Sherwin-Williams, which is this stuff here. And this is only here for, so you can see what it looks like, the labeling. Then there was another place called Finish Masters, which I don't know if they're like just on the East Coast or whatever. The one near me keeps moving around, and every time they move around, they keep like losing the brand name stuff, and their aftermarket, they're like the Nason, instead of it being DuPont, gets more expensive. So I don't really deal with them a whole lot, just because like every time I want to buy something from them, it's hard to find them. So what I resort to is, believe it or not, eBay. I've been buying this stuff like for a while now, and it's been treating me pretty good. But what is all this stuff? So this is for a customer's car. He's having me paint the hood and the roof of his van. This is an acrylic enamel. You mix this, and almost all of these cans will have a thing here showing you how they want you to mix it. This is an 8:1:2, a really weird ratio. Most of this stuff, when you get it, it's like a 1:1. A 1:1. I can go 2:1 with this, and it tells me why I would want to do that. But like this, I'm going to mix 1:1. So this is the color. This is a urethane, and then you mix the reducer with it. This is a medium reducer, and the medium, fast, and slow all go with the temperature that you're spraying. So when you buy this, like, yeah, it's $200, but you're getting 2 gallons. You know what I mean? Once it's all mixed up. So that's one way to look at this. When you buy the clear coats, this is a clear coat. You got to look at them. They get mixed 4:1. Almost all of them are 4:1. So it's a gallon to a quart. You're not getting 2 gallons out of this. You're getting this much out of it. So you got to keep that in mind. Always look. They will always tell you on the bottle how to mix this stuff. So don't just go willy-nilly and buy whatever, you know. So this is an Acme company. This was from the Finish Master place. This is, I think, a 2K product, and that has to do with the solids that are in it. This doesn't even say, I don't think. It is urethane. They're almost all the products you're going to buy nowadays is like a urethane. I don't know why he bought this acrylic. He probably bought this acrylic because it was like less expensive. What I don't like about this is that you need a hardener with it. He bought this hardener. It says super wet look. This is treating it like a single stage. So the way he bought this, the way they sold it to him, you spray this on and you don't put clear coat over it. The problem with that is, and you can do that, like if it's like this is for a work van, so he don't care. But if you're going to put this on something that you want a real wet, shiny look, when you go to buff this stuff, it does nothing but get duller. Unless you put like one of those ceramic coatings or whatever, you know, that they're using these days. But this stuff, when you go to buff it, it looks like complete crap. So once you spray this, what you get, you leave it alone. You might wax it, but that's about it. To wet sand this, to get it to level out, like if you got a little bit of orange peel or something, this is not the way to go. This is the way to go. If you're not good at spraying yet, and you know, you put a couple extra coats on, you can wet sand this and buff it, and you'll get that smooth Porsche look out of it. Same with this. This is identical to this. This is a urethane clear coat, different brand. I believe, I don't even know where this came from. My friend bought this. This belongs to a friend of mine. He left it here. But same with this. It tells you 4:1 right there. So this is the hardener for it. That's a urethane clear coat. You can buy this stuff online. You can get on eBay and buy this stuff, you know. So we covered the 3M products. We covered, I think this is 3M also. This is a knockoff version. I don't know where he got this from. This is clear coat. This is clear coat. This is your color. This is color. This is urethane. This is from eBay. This is Sherwin-Williams. A lot of people don't know that Sherwin-Williams makes automotive paint. So this is just the color. Both of these, I believe, are the same color for 2 different cars. It's ingot silver. I can't find where it actually says it on here. Here it is, ingot silver metallic. This one's the same thing. But again, when I went there, they sold me 2 different products. This is Sunfire Pro. This is their stuff, but these are, I think they're urethane. Some of these are so hard to tell. And it should tell me on here how to mix it, which I probably got paint all over it. But this is a 1:1. These are 1:1. They don't really put this stuff on their labels. I think that's kind of weird as far as Sherwin-Williams goes. But this type of stuff does not have a hardener. You can mix this, and they call it a pot life. It has an infinite pot life. You can mix it. You can keep it. You can keep it in your container. Put the lid back on it, and it will never dry out. You can keep it in here. Well, I'm not going to say forever. You know, for the length of your project or a couple months or whatever. If you have it out in the elements where it's hot, it's going to evaporate down anyway, and then just turn into a lump of crap like I just had in that other thing. But that's it. This is a hardener. This is a hardener. This is a hardener. When I mix these hardeners in, you have the pot life is about, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes till it turns into a block inside this thing, and then you can't use it anymore. That's your work time. This type of stuff does not have a pot life. You know, you can mix it, and that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to mix this up to here. I'm going to paint something, and I'm gonna mix a full thing because I'm going to use it. You know, so that's I don't have any primer on here. I'm going to go the cheap route because I have so much paint. I'm not going to primer what I'm going to paint just because it's for the little Blazer race truck. I really don't care. The reason you would use a primer is I'm going to do a scuff and shoot, but the primers, if you have different colors, the primer makes your background color all even because this stuff is like transparent. And if you have like splotches of like blue and red and you know, white or whatever you're painting over all that, and you paint this over, especially white, you're going to see all that. It's going to take a lot of coats to cover that. So your primer would make it all one color. And you know, also if you have any blemishes in like nicks and scratches, your primer would fill all that. You could sand it down, you'd have it perfectly smooth. You know, that's a whole other skill set. Right now I'm just covering your color and your clear coat, your finishing coatings. So I just wanted to go over all this, but the eBay stuff is perfectly fine. I'm gonna go get one more eBay product and I'll show you. I've already mixed it with this and it's been sitting in here mixed, ready to spray forever, but I'll show you the label of another product. All right, here we go. I bought this forever ago. Apparently I didn't mix it. I thought I mixed these two together. This is the reducer for this. So whatever's in here, I think this is like halfway full. I think, yeah, both of them are about halfway full. I could mix this together and get another gallon out of this. This was left over from another job I did, and I promised a young man that I would paint his truck as a graduation present. This is the product I'm going to use. This is the base coat, the color, and then, you know, that the clear coat goes over that. So I know this might be a little confusing, and I might have missed some steps. I don't know if there's any questions you have about automotive refinishing. Give me a shout. There's a lot of products on the market, and it is very confusing. If you do not know what in the world you're looking for, I try to stick with urethane. Urethane everything, even the primer. Let me get one of those. I'll show you what I mean. This is like, I didn't really want to touch on primer, but I do want to explain something. This is the primer you buy from the auto parts store. This is just regular gray. This is really thick stuff. You know, if you're working on something that you don't really care about, this is good to get. This is a lacquer. So what this literally means is whatever you sand off, if you could catch it in a tarp, you could just add some like thinner to it, mix it all up and reuse it again, okay? This stuff holds moisture, so if you have a bare metal panel, and you'll see this a lot, guys will primer their panels thinking they're good, and then a couple months down the road, it starts rusting through. This is why. This stuff holds moisture and allows moisture to go through into your metal. This is a urethane primer, okay? I got this on the roof of my truck right now. This urethane primer is waterproof. I have some where there was like lights mounted to the roof of my truck. I covered the holes up and I put this primer over it. This takes a hardener. So when you mix it, you have a short amount of time until it hardens up, and then this becomes waterproof. So if you have a panel that you can't paint right away, put this stuff on it. And you don't have to worry about water getting through to it. So this is a urethane primer. This is what I like to use on anything that I want a really good look from. If I want a nice even, and you know, I don't have to worry about nothing. Let me show you what this customer got me, and it's an okay alternative if you don't want to spray it out of a gun. This is what the customer got me for his work van. I don't know what this is. This obviously, when you spray this, you can't add this to it. This isn't mixed in here already, otherwise it would harden. So this is probably a lacquer. Doesn't really say. I'm not seeing it on here. Not offhand. If I read this small print that I need to get glasses for, it would probably tell me. But another thing I don't like about, you know, the lacquers is, say you put a decal, say this is going on the side of a van, and you put a decal on that van, and that decal, like the magnetic ones, and that decal's on the side of your van for, I don't know, 6 months. And I know you've seen this where the magnet, you know, that decal sticks to the paint, and when you go to peel the magnet off thinking, well, it's a magnet, you know, I can move it from vehicle to vehicle, it takes the paint with it. That's because this stuff isn't that strong. It goes right down to the primer. This will let go of your color, and your clear coat, and then you're left with like these spots of like, you know, gray. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've seen it on some vehicles, some work vehicles and stuff, where they take the decals off and the paint comes right with it. That's why they're using crap primer. If you use this urethane, it won't do that. It won't let go. However, you know, if you paint this and let it dry for, you know, say a month or whatever till you get back to it, if you don't prepare this surface again before you put your color on, the two surfaces won't bond together, and you know, you got to open those pores back up so it can accept the new coat, which is just like the red scuff pads. That's all you got to do. Scuff it up, and then, or I like to wet sand it, and then that'll open it back up to where you can add that. So that's that. I really didn't want to cover the primers, but I forgot I had all this stuff, and that's it. If you're on, you know, online looking to buy stuff, I also use, there's a whole bunch of other stuff I like to use as far as pigments and all that to make different colors, you know, like pearls and whatnot. That's a whole other class, you know what I mean? But for right now, this is enough to get you going. We're gonna mix this up and we're gonna paint the bottom side of the hood. So let me clear all this junk out of here and we'll get to it. Before we go any further, I want to touch on, you know, more personal safety. I smoked cigarettes for 28 years and it just did a number on my lungs. You know, this stuff's really dangerous to breathe. I've been to like DuPont seminars, 3M seminars, and they talk about the catalyst inside this stuff. Like if you breathe this without any protection, this stuff like basically just coagulates inside your lungs, and you know, for a couple days until you start coughing it out, you almost feel like you're drowning. And it's horrible stuff. When I was young, I used to, you know, I never wore one of these. It wasn't cool, you know. But I keep them in a bag. There's charcoal filters in here. Pretty much like when you buy these, they're sealed in a pack like this. They pretty much tell you once you open this pack, you have 24 hours to use it. All right. I don't know a single paint guy out there that actually sticks to that rule. What I more or less stick to, as long as I can breathe through the thing, these pads right here, they always give you a couple of them. I always make sure, you see I got a couple there, I always make sure they're clear. When you're spraying clear coat, it really jams these up and then it's really hard to breathe. And you know, the entire time you're working, it feels like you're you know, in a gym fighting somebody. So it's just hard to breathe. But super important, don't skip this step. These are a little expensive, $55, $60. It's worth it, trust me. Do not skip this step. Always wear your respirator when you're painting. I don't care who you are. When you're young, you don't realize what you're doing to your body until you get older like me. I'm in my 40s, and you know, if I accidentally spray this without that, the next day you can already hear my voice breaking up because I've done this my whole life. You feel it, you know. All right, with that said, I'm going to get this off the table and we're going to mix. I'm going to show you one important step you don't want to miss. So as I said, this is a clean thing right out of that box I was just showing you. These get mixed 1-to-1. So I was showing you earlier. I could do 2-to-1, which would make this a little, see, it says better hide. I could make it a little thicker, but you know, I don't really care. I want to mix it 1-to-1 because I want to use, once you start mixing the ratios up, then you're going to be using that up, you know, a little more, a little less, and then it throws you off. So I'm just going to mix this 1-to-1. When you're looking at these cups, down here it tells you your ratios. We're just going to spin around until we find... There's no 1-to-1 on here, so we are going to go with the straight... Where is it at? Alright, so we're gonna go with, I guess, like the 2-to-1. This looks about half. There's, oh, here. Let me grab a new one. It was on here. That's what I was looking for. Let me grab a new one and show you what I'm looking for. This is a newer one. I guess from using this, it wore off. But this is just to scale fluid ounces. It's 20 ounces. We're gonna fill it to 10 ounces with the color, and then another 10 ounces with the reducer, and then that's it. This is the thinner that I keep around for cleaning the gun out. But, I'm going to switch these around so I can actually read this. Now we have a cup that has our scale on it. So, the important step that I wanted to show you. When you get these, all the junk, the good stuff settles to the bottom. And you should be wearing your respirator the entire time you're mixing this stuff. It has a very strong smell to it. So if I go to the bottom, I've been shaking this for a while. It's pretty well mixed up. This is good. But always check this. When you get, especially if there's a bunch of high solids in there, if you do this, like the primers, you'll get a ball of junk. This one is, I've been shaking this for like the past hour. All right, well, I was looking for a wide tape, but don't have any. So I'm gonna have to do this a way I don't want to, but you know what? And I just stuck that in the paint. So the whole point is you're blocking off the lip here, and you're creating a point to where when you pour it off, you're not making a mess of your gallon container. Because it'll sit in this channel, and then like the entire time, it's going to take a while to use this. The entire time you own the thing, it's hard to get the lid on and off. Alright, so we're going to our scale here. Here it is. I'm going to fill this up to the 10 ounce mark. See how nice that made that? I'm just going to let that settle out. And then we're using this. And like I said, this stuff, it doesn't coagulate, it doesn't harden, so you can leave this in the pot as long as you need it. I'm left-handed, so all this junk's in my way now. All right, I'm going to fill this up to the 20, which is, 10 here, 20 there. It's 1 to 1. Making a mess. I'm not, like, everything's in my way. Let me move this stuff around. There we go. I just spilled that everywhere. I think I need to come up a little more with that reducer. That's it. You see, it's like the consistency of water at this point. If you mix it 2 to 1, it'll be not as watery also. It'll cover thicker. It changes the way you spray it. So what you can do, click this little lid on here. And these have a hole in the bottom to let it breathe. Take this cap off, push on this a little bit, and now it's almost like a soda. When you go to shake it up, it'll expand a tiny bit. If you put this on without doing this and you take this off, it'll blow up in your face. It puts these little specks all over the place. So that's it. This is ready to go. This is ready to be painted. Let's go out to what I'm about to paint, and I'll show you what I do to prepare that.